All right. So today we're going to be talking about geometry and what it means. So geometry can be broken up into two words, geo and metry. What does the word geo mean? The world. Geo means the world or earth. What does the word metric or metry mean? Louder? Numbers, what about them? Measuring. So today we're going to be talking about measuring the earth. Or not today, actually geometry, this class is talking about measuring the earth. So something I need you to know is that, let me see real quick if I can do this. Let's see. Alright. So there's this guy named Euclid. And Euclid is the father of geometry. Can everybody say Euclid?
Euclid.
Everybody say Euclid.
Euclid.
What is Euclid? He's the father of geometry. That's a test question. So Euclid is a really, really old guy that was from around the era of 300 BC. Yeah. And so what he did is he basically noticed, hey, the earth has elements in it. Like he's probably in a cave, right? And he noticed the earth has elements in it that are all the same. So he's just noticing patterns. So today we use his name for Euclidean geometry or plane geometry. We have Euclidean and non-Euclidean. So Euclidean is what we focus on in here. We're focusing on the three undefined terms. We're focusing on theorems and things that can be proven. Non-Euclidean geometry has to do with more spherical, three-dimensional geometry. We aren't getting into that. I majored in math and I never got into that in college. So that's something that like you would specialize in. We're not doing that. Okay?
Yes.
Have any of y'all ever seen the Sphere concert venue in Vegas, Las Vegas? Have y'all seen pictures of that? That's Euclidean. That's non-Euclidean geometry. All right? Euclidean geometry is just like on a TV. Does that make a little bit more to break it down? All right, here's some words that you have seen or have not seen before. These are all the terms that are on your notes. So I am going to give you I'm not giving you 10 minutes. I'll give you about a song, and what I would like you to do is to see how many words you can put in the correct spot on your paper. Please make sure you're using pencil, because if you get something wrong, you can erase it. If you're not sure, don't write it down. Does that make sense? All right, I'll give you all about a song to do that while I take attendance. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you the correct terms and notations. Make sure you are writing down what I'm writing down so that you are accurate. So the first term, by the way, do y'all see how these first three terms say undefined terms? And you're like, but Miss Olivares, you have a definition. How can they be undefined if there's a definition? Well, the undefined terms are things that you are not using other figures to define. So for instance, what is the first word that goes here? What'd y'all write? Point. Point is exactly right. But how do you define a point? What is a point? Don't read the definition up there. Tell me, what's a point? A dot. But it's a dot on a piece of paper. But do you agree, look at me please, Ricardo, head up. Do you agree there's a point right here at the end of my finger? In space. Do you agree there's another point somewhere right here? Do you agree there's how many points in this room? Thousands, millions, billions. I heard it. Infinite amount of points. There is an infinite amount of points in this room. So a point isn't really like, on our papers we put a dot, right? But that's just how we represent it here. In life, there are points everywhere in this room. Every time you can nail something on a wall, isn't that technically a point? Right? Okay. So the way that we do points, this right here we would call points P. That is our notation. What I really need you to know is that points are capital letters. If you were to give me a lowercase, granted P is not a very good example, but if you were to give me a lowercase a, I would count points off because that's not a point. A point has to be a capital letter. Okay? The second undefined term is a line. What is a line? A line is always straight. It does not have two endpoints because a line goes on forever. It has 2 points make it up though, so that is important. A line has to have at least 2 points. And what else? It's always straight. And do you agree a line, it says it on here, but a line has no thickness. It's thin, right? So we're going to write line right here. A couple things about a line. We already talked about it goes on forever. So whenever you're writing a line, you need to have 2 arrows because it goes on forever in both directions. Now, do I know what direction it started and what direction it ended? No, so I could also write this as BA. It does not matter what order you write the letters in. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about that. First of all, I'm going to go back with what Christiana said. She said it has 2 points. So you have to have 2 capital letters for a line. However, Jason noticed what letter is over here that's not capital? M. A line can also be named with a lowercase letter. So I could also call this line M. What can I not do? I cannot call this, can I call this line AM? No. This is wrong because they're both not points. So if you're going to use this letter M, you're just saying, hey, that's line M. Okay? The last undefined term, which is what our unit is called, points, lines, and planes. A plane is a flat surface. It has no thickness and it goes on forever. I like to use the example of a sheet of paper. You're going to see me use paper for planes a lot. However, there's planes all around us. What is the best example of a plane? The walls. Do you agree the walls are flat surfaces? The floor. Do you agree the floor extends forever? It's a plane. The ceiling is a plane. All right, any flat surface is a plane. So the way that we have planes, you need at least 3 points to make a plane. So I could call this plane what? What are my 3 points? X, Y, Z. Do I have to call it plane X, Y, Z? No. Could I call it Z, Y, X? Sure. Does it matter what order my letters are in? No. Now, could I call it Z, Y, R? Why not? Is there a point with this R? No. This R right here is actually the plane name. So you can call it by the 3 letters, or you can call it by the 1 letter that's not a point. You cannot call it X, Y, R. R is not a point. What questions do I have so far? All right. Which one of these, points, line, or planes, is the only one that has a lowercase letter that you can use? A line. Which one of these has 1 uppercase letter that you can use? A plane or a. So both of these you can use 1 uppercase letter. This one you can use 1 lowercase letter. Does that make sense? All right. What about number 4? What's different about number 4? Kind of looks like a line, but what's wrong with it? It's no arrows. It stops. What's that called? segment. A segment is a portion of the line. Again, you're writing this down with me. It is a portion of a line and it ends on both sides. It says two endpoints. So for this, what are my two endpoints? C and D. So the notation is going to be C and D like that. Two endpoints. No arrows. I get lazy sometimes, so sometimes you're just going to see me write it like that. I'm not going to put the points, but I don't have arrows either. And then what else could I call this? DC. DC works as well. Doesn't matter the order. Any questions on segments? It's a part of a line. What about this one? How many arrows does this have? One. What is it called when it only has one arrow? Array. Has anybody ever heard of a ray of sunshine? Why is it called a ray of sunshine? It starts at the sun and does what? It goes out forever. Look, geometry, the math of the world. A ray is a portion of the line. It starts at a point, an end point, and then it goes on forever in one direction. There's only one arrow. So how would I write this notation for this one? What do you think? I would call it PQ, and what would I do? Put one arrow on which one? Q. Could I do QP and put an arrow like that? Write that down. Why can't I do it? Is there an arrow with P? No. Put an X on it. I want you to write it down, but I want you to put an X. So no, don't do it. Open up your notes, please. Or actually, let's pause. What if I give you this? What notation does that go with? A segment. Why a segment? No arrows. All right, what about this one? Array. Why? One arrow. So make sure, and then what if I have two arrows? A line. So make sure you just know the difference in notation. Alright, two rays that have a common endpoint and form a line are called opposite rays. Do y'all agree this is a line? Right here. But inside this line, do you see how EF is a ray? Do y'all see that ray? Do you also see how EG is also a ray? If you have two rays going opposite directions, you have a line. That's what opposite rays are. Okay? What about points that are on the same line? That is collinear. Collinear. Everybody say collinear. Say it louder. Collinear. Who's the father of geometry? Euclid. I'm going to keep just asking all that randomly because I don't want you to forget. Euclid is the father of geometry. Collinear. What word is in collinear? Linear. Line. Collinear is on the same line. So A, B, and C are collinear. There is not really a notation for this. Yes.
Hey, do you have anybody that needs to do your badges made? I'm doing badges right now.
Anybody need a badge? You all have a badge around your neck right now with your picture on it? Melissa does. Yep. Okay, that's fine. Anybody else have a yellow not picture on their badge? Perfect. Brielle, can you do me a favor and write her notes just as we do them, just so she's not behind? All right. What's an example of collinear in life? Yeah? What?
Me?
Yeah, Marcelo. Sorry.
Like collinear, it's like when they both make sense. Like
Okay.
they both align with each other.
You're right, but I mean more like give me an example.
Example?
Yes, like last.
Apples and apples. Isn't that because they both align?
Okay, you are thinking real deep right now. Don't think so deep yet. I want you to think physically. Like here's an example somebody said last period. They said if 3 birds were on a power line, they're collinear. They're on the same line. You're thinking too deep, right? Thinking a little bit too deep. Think a little bit less deep.
Us on the desk.
Us on the deck. Look, these girls right here. Do y'all agree? They're in a line. They're collinear. Perfect. What else? That way. Perfect. What else? The pencils. Do you agree they're on the same line? Collinear. Anything, 3 things, 2 things, or 3 things on the line are collinear. Okay? What if they're not on the same line?
They're not collinear.
They're non-collinear. Non-collinear means they are not on the same line. So what is not on the same line here? Z is non-collinear to W, X, and Y. Non-collinear is not on the same line. Are we in 4th period? Okay. So collinear on the same line. Non-collinear, not on the same line. Okay? What about all this? Oh, let me just pause. So the set of all points in 3 dimensions. What is the set of all points around us? Louder? Space. Now, I'm not talking outer space with stars and galaxies, but do you agree there's space around here? Okay? Space has no picture because, like, there it is. And it, oh my gosh, I just wrote on my shirt. And it has no notation. So that's all. Space is all the points around us. So what if you have points or lines all on one plane? Coplanar. So all on the same line, collinear. All on the same plane, coplanar. So I want you to kind of shade this right here. Do y'all agree they're all on the same flat surface? So A, B, C, D are coplanar. What about if they're not in the same plane? Take a wild guess. Coplanar. Coplanar. Non-coplanar. They're not in the same space. What is not on the same flat surface on this one? D. So D is non-coplanar. Because D is like way out here. Not on the same flat surface. Alright, we got 6 more to go. I hope this next one is very, very easy for you. Can y'all look at number 12 and know what it is? Parallel lines for number 12. I see people writing, so I'm going to wait a second. Jade, can you shut the door, but like not all the way, so when Melissa gets back, it's, yeah. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Jade. Thank you.
Alright. Can I change it? Okay. So I kind of did this yesterday real quick and didn't go into it. But yesterday I told y'all what the symbol for parallel was. Does anybody remember? 2 straight lines. So the notation for parallel is 2 straight lines like this. So for this one, T is parallel to H. Now, for parallel lines, we're going to learn on Monday. Parallel lines also have to have a notation on them, so I know they're parallel. So do you see how it has little arrow? I'm drawing little arrows. Can y'all draw those little arrows? If you see arrows like that on lines, that means they are parallel. Remember, parallel lines do not intersect. Alright, I also mentioned another kind of funny word yesterday. And that word was when you have lines that are not parallel, but do not touch. Does anybody remember what I told y'all that was when they're not parallel, but they don't touch? Skew. Okay. There is no notation for skew. I wish there was, but there's not. Once you write down skew lines, can everybody lift their hands up in the air and stretch? I want you to make parallel lines with your hands. Everybody make parallel lines with your hands. You can keep them right here if you don't want to do that, but keep them right here. Parallel lines with your hands, up in the air. Do y'all agree these are two lines, they never touch? They go the same way. Okay. Now what I want you to do is take one of your hands and put it, only one of them, straight in front of you. Okay? And now, I want you to try to bring both of them to you. So this one's going to go like this one's going to go up and down at the same time. I know, it's kind of like you're doing this, right? So let's do it again. One hand goes up, one hand goes out. Bring them both to you. Both to you. These lines are never going to touch. Do y'all agree? Are they parallel? No. But they're never going to touch. Those are skew lines. Let me show you another example of that. I have my coaster. Let me zoom out. I have this coaster. I wish I had a little box. Oh, I do. Here, let me give you this remote. I have a remote. Here's a little rectangular prism. Do y'all agree? Okay. This line right here that goes up and down, do you agree this line right here, if I were to draw it and it goes on forever, is never going to touch this line going up and down right here? See how this is going up and down and this is going left and right?
Yeah.
They're never going to touch. Are they parallel? No, but they're never going to touch. Do you agree this line right here and this line right here are never going to touch? These two lines right here, but they're the same direction. What are they? They're parallel. It's open. So, parallel lines go the same direction, they never touch. Skew lines go different directions, they never touch. So, we like to go skew, 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 skew. They're different lines, they never touch. Okay? Different directions, never touch. Skew lines. So that's what this picture is showing. Do you see how this one goes up and down? And this goes front and back? It's like this. Never touching. Skew lines. Alright. What is the mathematical word for when you have the same length? Congruent. So these are congruent segments. They're segments because they have endpoints. Do y'all see these little tick marks? Those tick marks mean congruent. What mathematical symbol means congruent? So an equal sign means the same size. The little tilde squiggly thing means the same shape. This symbol right here is congruent. We're going to use this all year long. Congruent. What about a point that divides a segment into two segments that have the same length? What is this point right here? The midpoint. The middle, the midpoint. There's not really a notation, but I do want to let you know you're going to see me use those letters for midpoint. Does that make sense? Again, I get lazy. Dang. I get lazy and I don't want to write it all out. So I do midpoint. Because it's a midpoint, it's in the middle. Do y'all see the little tick marks? What does that tell me about AB and BC? They're what? They're congruent. Last two. A line array that divides a segment into two congruent segments is called a bisector. What does the prefix bi mean? Two. This cuts in half. A bisector cuts in half. So for this one, CD, the line, bisects AB, the segment. It cuts it in half. That's why both of these sides are the same. So think of a bisector, it's chopping it. Last one, I hope we know this last one. Perpendicular lines. And some people told me a right angle. You're right, it's a right angle, but these says two lines. So this is going to be perpendicular lines. Do y'all agree perpendicular is a very long word? Yes. That's probably the last time I'm going to write it in this class, because I'm going to use the notation. The notation for perpendicular is an upside down T. So T is perpendicular to M. On Monday, we are going to glue into our notebook, so please make sure you have your spiral, preferably at least 100 pages, by Monday. All right? By Monday, we are gluing into our notebooks. All right, you can keep this out because what we're about to do is your homework. Let me find it. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I want you to do as many of the odds as you think you can. You can work with the person that you're only doing the odds. You can work with the person next to you to help you. But do as many of the odds as you think you can. Use your badge if you need to draw a straight line. As many of the odds as you can.
Yeah.
Odd answers. Try to do the odd ones. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And if you draw it more rectangular, that's fine. If you doesn't That's homework. Yeah, but I want you to do the odds first so I can give you the answer so you make sure you're right before you move along. You know what I mean? Okay, I would like you to pause what you're doing. I'm going to give you the answers to the front odds. First one, draw a line K. What does the line have to have? Arrows. Okay, I don't care if your line goes up or if it's straight or what it looks like. It just needs to have how many arrows? 2. And what else does it need to have? Okay. No point. You could have put points, but no point. Yeah, make sure the K doesn't have a point. Correct. Draw point B in plane H. So I'm going to always draw my planes like this. If you were to just do a rectangle, that's fine. But I'm going to draw my planes like this. This is plane H. What do I need with the H? I need a point B. What do I need with the H? A capital H. Does there need to be a point with the H? That's it. Does your H have to go in the top right corner? It could go preferably in a corner, any corner, but no point with it. ER, what is ER? So what does it need? 2 dots. And what I don't want you to do is don't go past this. You need to stop at the dot. They need to be capital E and capital R, not lowercase. Does that make sense? Draw opposite rays TR and TX. What did we say opposite rays make? So I'm going to actually just draw a line. If it's telling you to draw opposite rays, it's telling you to draw a line. With how many points?
3.
How do I know the order of the points? Which one is in both of these? That goes where? And then I do not care which one's X and which one's R. It didn't specify, so it could have been, if you did them backwards, that's fine. Are we feeling okay about this? A little bit? No? I have tutoring on Monday if you need it. Turning over. Draw TV. What is TV? So look, for TV, I'm going to draw a T, a V with an arrow after it. It's a ray. What is ER? A segment. And what does intersecting mean? They cross. So they're going to cross ER. And where does it say they cross at? Point what? Point N. What's up? What's up? Where you been? Okay, well, welcome back. You have Miss Ely across the hall. You have Miss Ely across the hall. Yeah. K level. All right. Does this make sense? Do I have any questions about what I did? What part is confusing? Everything? Well, do you see how this only has one arrow? One arrow. For sure. No arrows? No arrows. Draw, okay, AD intersecting a plane. This one is super weird, so I need everybody to look up. Everybody look up. I'm drawing a plane. What's my plane called? I'm going to draw X. That's a plane. How do you intersect a plane if you are a line? Look up. Boom, goes through it. Okay? So exactly. I am going to draw a line. Boom. Going through it, but once it goes through it, I'm going to draw dashes because that tells me, oh, it went underneath it. Can y'all visualize? Do y'all see what I did? And because it has 2 arrows, I'm going to draw 2 arrows. Now, what do I need with my picture? I need points. What points? Point E where they intersect. What else? And A and D, I do not care where A and D are. A can be up top and D can be on the bottom. A can be right next to D. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do it like that. But if you put D at the top, that's fine too. Like doesn't matter. I know I'm going fast because the bell's going to ring in 2 minutes. It says draw T. What is T?
Line.
How do you know that? It's lowercase. It's a line. What are Q and R? So it says it contains Q and R. So I can draw Q. I can draw R. But it does not contain P and S. Where do I put P and S? Not on the line. Anywhere. Because it does not contain them. Alright. Your homework is evens. This is not due until Tuesday. You had yesterday's worksheet. Not due till Tuesday. What's due Thursday? Projects. That's what I would focus on this weekend. Do your projects. Go buy tissues. Go buy box. Have your friend buy them and y'all share them. You can do it together. Don't make one person do all the work. Have a good weekend.